Good morning, guys. So actually it's in the afternoon. Kind of got a late start this morning. If you notice, the COE is all cleaned up. It's around pointing out the front, and the Cadillac front bumper is back on. So this morning, I've been talking to a gentleman all week. I did put this up for sale last week, actually a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And well, someone messaged me on Marketplace, and he has something very interesting that I can certainly appreciate. And if everything works out well, this will be leaving us on Monday. So once all that gets taken care of, I'll introduce you to hopefully will be the next thing we got sitting in that spot. So what I had to do this morning was I had to get the vacuum wiper motor plumbed into the vacuum canister. Then I had to get the new wiper arms on, new wiper blades, put the seal in the passenger side door that I've been kind of like putting off, and then just pressure washed her all up and parked her back in her spot. Oh, and the gentleman is in love with that Cadillac front bumper, and you know, I am too. I just thought the other one would be better to try to sell it, so it was a little bit more stockish, because that is a little wild. And but he's like, dude, can you put that Cadillac front bumper back on? And I would certainly appreciate it. So I did. And then a couple days ago, today's Saturday, so Thursday, I let off work a little early, and my son needed to go to Orlando to pick up some Marketplace purchases for a laptop, and this gentleman actually lives in Orlando, so everything was lining up to go look at what he had to offer for this. Anyway, so we'll get into that more so after it's sitting in that spot. But today we are going to put in the taillights in the 442, headlights, headlight buckets, hopefully the front bumper, the rear bumper we're going to pop on, and I have to make, well not make, but redesign and stiffen up the bumper brackets in the rear, because he did shorten the frame, or narrowed the frame, so instead of these bumper brackets being attached directly to the frame, they're off the frame about, I don't know, 10 inches off on both sides. So he's got carrier bolts that come through with a spacer, you know, like a sleeve, and then a bolt. And the carrier bolt that goes through the original bracketry, the carriage part, so the square part that sets into the bracket, it's all ovaled out. So when you try to tighten it or loosen it, it just kind of sits and spins. So I'm probably gonna have to break out the welder, weld up some plates. I have a good idea of what I'm gonna do, but once I get it in there, we will see. So let's get into this. So what I'm gonna work on now, it's like, what is it? 1:30. So it's 1:30 on Saturday. So what I'm gonna do here today, and maybe into tomorrow, I'm going to be putting in the tail lights. I'm going to put the bumper back on, hopefully in the rear here, get that all straightened out, because the mount down there is all kind of kitty-wampus. So to fix that, and then hopefully I'll get the front end squared away, meaning headlights, grille, trim, marker lights on the fenders, that kind of deal. I ordered that regulator, well, it's a vent window mechanism is what they call it. I ordered it, but it won't be here until next week, even though I ordered it last week, Sunday night. And I ordered that through Original Parts Group. It's an A body, basically. It's multiple years that little mechanism fits. I could have went to Orlando or Ocala, which is about an hour away from me, and picked one up, but the cost of it going there was about 40 bucks, maybe more. than me just ordering it through Original Parts Group and having it shipped from California. So I'm going to start putting all this stuff back together here, and then I don't know, if I feel really rambunctious tomorrow, we'll get the carpet laid inside, stuff like that, because I can't do anything on the window doors or anything on the passenger side because I need that mechanism to put it all together. So let's get into this, and let's get done when we get done. So the driver's side bracket for the bumper is, I don't want to say it's foobarred, but it's he's got a carriage bolt through there in the stock location, but since he had to move the frame inward to tub it to put big tires on it, that one carriage bolt actually spins inside the slot because the slot has been worn out, right? So what I have to do is I have to put the whole bumper in its correct location, and then I have to weld the bolt to the frame in the back. That way it'll stop it from moving, so I can tighten down the brackets. So that's pretty much where we're at. So I'm gonna push up on this bracket, put it in a locked position with my little floor jack dealio, set the bumper on there, make sure it's even across, and then once it's even across, then I'll tack it in. The passenger side is perfect still. It's just the driver's side that's all kind of kitty-wampus, and I'll show you that real quick. So here's this bracket right here. You see how it just kind of flops? Inside here is a long carriage bolt, and that's what's keeping it. The carriage bolt is why it's rounded. So I've got the bumper sitting level to the car. The exhaust, he's actually going to move it out back into the 442 areas instead of out the center like that. The bumper needs to be shifted that way about a ½ inch, but the height of it is good. Like, that's right where it's supposed to be. Yeah, so I'm going to shift it over to the driver's side about a ½ inch, and then we should be good to tighten up the carriage bolts there and there, and then I'll tack that one up underneath there. I'll show you again. So it's that guy right there. That's the guy. See that big hole right there? This thing just spins. It's a big long carriage bolt, and then he's got big spacers, steel spacers up underneath. Sorry about this. Right there. Because he had to move the frame in. Okay, we'll be right back. Alright guys, so I got that bracket with the carriage bolt welded onto the back side, tightened it all up. the bumper, how those carriage bolts are, the bumper wants to do one of these kind of deals. So I have to make a strap from the bottom of the bumper bracket over to the frame, so it'll hold it in place so it won't dip, right? So I leveled it all up and it's exactly where the bumper needs to be. So what I'm doing is I already cut up a piece of strap. Hold on a second. So this is the strap, 1/8 inch thick. We cut it at an angle to fit. This is actually the passenger side. The driver's side is up in there and clamped. I'm about to weld it. So it'll go across to the bumper bracket. It goes like this. It'll weld to that, and then that will weld to the bottom of the frame, because the frame is pushed in, like I've been saying, about 8 inches on both sides. So the bumper brackets are no longer sitting up against the frame. So when we were talking about when we were putting on the rear bumper, he asked me if I could figure out a way to weld a brace up in there, because I guess that's a problem. Like, he's noticed it. So that's what I'm gonna do. So instead of like showing you cutting a piece of strap, so I cut a piece of strap, now I'm gonna weld it in real quick, and then I'm gonna get the other side caught up. Alright guys, so the rear bumper is attached, level straight across. Like I said, the exhaust will be moved over to here and over there. So what I did was I just welded a bracket right there across the beam, or across the bumper bracket, to keep it up. So not bad. Let's start putting the front end together. Alright guys, so we got headlight buckets in and surrounds around them. These little chrome trim pieces right here, man, yeah, those little black cups that go around that bender part right there, they actually have to be fed from the inside, and then the chrome piece has to sandwich all that. And then you have to go about this far into the fender to get the little speed nuts on that chrome piece to hold it all together. Yep, that's awesome. When I turned on the headlights, actually let me show you. So as you can see, that outside one on that side, not working, and that's because it's a 3-prong, and one of the prongs is broke off. So yeah, so I got to get a headlight, and it's easier to change out that headlight if I take that whole bucket back out, because once I take that whole thing back out, it's just a couple screws, that's it, Bob's your uncle, and you can swap out that headlight real quick. So I got to go pick up a headlight tomorrow for it. That's why I'm not putting the center grill in, because I got to take that side out again. Okay, so that's going to wrap up today. So tomorrow, put the headlight in, and then I'm going to try to tackle the carpet. Pull out that little shift cover that I made, pull that out, sand it, spray it with some flat black, and then put that back in, and then take the seat back out, and then start fitting the carpet up in there. Yeah, so it's coming right along real quick. So until tomorrow. It's the next day. Call me Backtrack Sally. I'm going to take the bucket out, swap out that headlight. So that's the headlight. It's funny. This morning I go into the parts store and I go, hey, I need a sealed beam headlight. And they're like, what's a sealed beam? What's that? Luckily I'd already looked it up. I said, oh, I need this part number. They punch it in the computer. They walk over to the wall where the bulbs are, and I'm just standing there like, really? And he's looking for the bulb, and I go, no, it's an entire headlight. It's a sealed headlight. I said, are you sure you don't want to look it up by the make? It's 1968. He goes, it's a whole headlight? I go, yeah. He actually had to go grab somebody, and then they found it in the back. But anyway, I thought that was kind of funny. So I'm going to swap that out. So you think there's a difference? Okay. I guess I'm not swapping out the headlights. I'll be back. Well, an hour and a half later, found them. Old, new. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace both of them so they match. These are Sylvanias, same part number, but the box shows that they're brighter and I guess a little more yellow. I don't know, but I'd rather have them match across, that one and the other one. So and they were only 19 bucks a piece. So, and I'll tell you, I went to take that other headlight back, and the company, the part store that I went to, I showed them. I was like, hey, this is the headlight I need. This is the headlight that you gave me. And he goes, oh, well, let me look it up again. So he looked it up, and it's 1968 Oldsmobile 442, and you saw the difference. And he goes, well, that one says it should fit. I go, it doesn't fit, and here's the old headlight versus the one you gave me, and it's way bigger. And you know, they were like, oh, well, we can't return it because it's an electrical item. I was like, but your system told me that it was that it was an exact fit. Anyway, so I went to another place, and I got a pair, the last two they had, and the guy was like, oh man, didn't you just buy one of these? I go, no. And he goes, oh, that's right, it was another guy, another day bought a headlight for a really old car. I go, yeah, that's what this is. But anyway, so let me swap out these real quick, and then we'll get back on track here. So test fit the bumper. On this side, there's a huge piece of angle iron welded to the bracket, which is causing this bumper not to go on. This bumper is a newer bumper that he bought for this. The old bumper I don't have to see if it was notched out in that area, but I'm not notching out the rear or the new bumper, so I'm going to cut that piece off because it won't sit flush. If I remember right, he said at one point they welded something to the front to be able to tow it. I don't remember, but that little piece needs to be lopped off. So that is what I just cut off. Wow. Alright guys, so now I got these little brackets I got to clean up, and they go down below to the bottom of the bumper and attach to the frame. So let me clean these up real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, front bumper is officially on. So those two little brackets that I painted and thought was on the bottom of the bumper up, those were actually the bottom of the fenders that bolt up into the apron. And I knew there was some brackets that went from the bottom of the bumper over to the frame rail. I found them up there, and those are right there. So it bolts right there, and you only have like this much room to get the wrench up in, and it's just like eat, eat, eat. And then they bolt to the bottom of the bumper, and then they go across and bolt to the frame rail. So there it is. So I'm gonna take a peek. I did get the piece in actually yesterday. That vent window mechanism, I got it yesterday in the mail late. So I don't know if I'm gonna do the other glass or start working on interior, you know, the carpet. So let me see what I got going on here, and then I'll go from there. We'll be back. So, front bumpers all in, headlights, buckets, brand new low beams. All the glass is in now. Mounted the mirror. Adjusted up the doors, glass. I got these little things in. Up above. Got the door seal all in. So this is all on the passenger side. And last, rear bumper and taillights. So that's going to wrap it up for this weekend. We got a lot done in the last couple of days. And I got the COE ready for what hopefully will be tomorrow. But yeah, all we got left to do is put the hood on, put the trunk back on, the trunk seal, and then carpet and interior panels for the doors and quarter glass. So yeah, not so shabby. All right, guys. Well, remember, go out and build something cool. See you on the next one. Bye.